everybody, welcome to Culture. It's your homegirl, it's your host, Bromley. This is the second episode of this podcast, and today we're going to be talking about purpose. So stay tuned. Let's get to it. So like I said, guys, today we're going to talk about finding purpose. You might be thinking, oh, is this girl going to sit up here and drop some philosophy on us? No, because I don't know any. I'm just going to tell you about my life and, a little story about how I found my purpose. So here we go. Growing up, I felt like I was meant for absolutely nothing, that I wasn't good enough. And this was the feeling that I lived on. Subconsciously, at least, I wasn't fully aware of it. When you're raised in a Christian household, if people ask you, Bromley, do you know what you want to do in your life? Do you believe that God's got a purpose for your life? I'll be like, yeah, totally. Because that's the kind of attitude you're expected to have when you're raised in a Christian household. But subconsciously, I believed something completely different. I was like, I would say in my head, I believed that I was meant to live a mediocre life. But outwardly, I was saying, God's got a great purpose for my life. So when I came to Bulgaria in 2015, I bought all this baggage with me. And when you're by yourself, you have a lot of time to go over this baggage. And you would unpack it one by one. And I realized that I hadn't confronted any of my insecurities, any of my doubts, any of my fears. And I carried it for like 6 months until I started going to a church here called Zoe Sophia. I was going to different churches before that, but I went to Zoe. And I got to tell you about this church, and I just want to tell you guys that I love Zoe Sophia, and I want to proclaim it. I know the other churches are amazing. God bless them. But this one's special for me. So I used to sit at the back of the church and listen to our amazing pastor, Noah Ramos, preach gold every Sunday, speaking to our hearts, like drilling holes into our hearts. And about 6 months after I started going to Zoe, I was sitting in my room one day, and it was morning, like 10 a.m. But I had the blinds down, none of the lights were switched on, and I was on my bed with a guitar that I borrowed from a friend because at the time I was trying to find my voice, my singing skills. And all these moments and all these sermons, all these things that I'd been feeling for the past six months. At that time, that's what it felt. But I've realized over time that it was something that I've carried my whole life, bombarded on me in that moment when I was sat on my bed. And I just dropped the guitar on my bed and I just started crying, profusely crying. And I was going mad. I was crying and crying. I was like, I don't even know why I was crying. I got up from the bed, sat at the foot of my bed and started crying. And the only thing I could do at the time was I picked up the phone, called my brother, and he's my confidant for everything. So I just don't know why I'm feeling this way. I feel empty inside. I feel broken inside. Everything's fine, but I feel broken and I don't know. And he said, these amazing words to me. He said, you need to get out. You need to find new things. You need to find new people. And at that time, I was like, what is he talking about? Because I had everything going, guys. I had everything going for me. My family's amazing. I have a lot of friends, amazing friends. Uni was going great. But this horrible emptiness was just inside me. And I remembered during my conversation with my brother, I remembered that the previous week they had announced there was going to be a team night. A team night is when all the teams from inside the church comes together for a get together. And, if you're interested in joining a team in church, let's say Zoe Kids team, or like if you want to be part of the worship team, if you want to be part of the setup team where you put chairs, you could go. And this thought just dropped in my head, and I was like, okay, maybe I should go for that. Because when my brother said find new people, I was thinking, okay, maybe I should go there. He said, I don't know what that looks like for you, but why don't you try it? Go for it. Go see what this team night is all about. So at that point in my relationship with Zoe Church, I didn't know a lot of people. I maybe knew one or two people, but them as well, I didn't talk to that much. I had to literally drag myself from my house. I can count every step I took because it was that heavy to get from my house to that cafe. And that cafe was pretty far away. And so it was even more longer. And I remember going there, and they were singing songs, and I went back into that moment in my bedroom, and I was just started crying again profusely. And somebody happened to take a picture of me that day. I think they still have it, and I see it sometimes, and all of the emotion that I felt is seen in that picture. And that was the day that my life changed, because I decided that I wasn't going to waste any time doing things for myself. I'm going to start serving in church, and I'm going to be serving people. I want to do something outside of myself. So slowly and steadily, I started my journey on finding purpose. And I love that I was able to do that in a church, because it went into a space that was so much more than just about myself. I went from serving in kids team to a coffee team to singing at the kids team to singing at church, doing events and this podcast, and guys, like, my point is not about the fact that I was able to do all these things, but the fact that I was able to do these things because I found God. So I just want to tell you guys, if any of you are feeling this sort of emptiness or burdenness or brokenness inside, I just want you guys to text me on my Instagram, and I want to talk to you, because it's not just about this podcast where I'm sitting here and saying a couple stuff. I really want to get to know you guys and talk to you guys. So drop me a text if you're feeling anything like this, so we can talk about it. So at the end, I realized that my purpose is not singing, not talking or speaking in front of people. No, none of that. My purpose was people. And I am so glad that I was able to find that. And my journey throughout life is going to be constantly about people, and constantly going to be about new ways to reach out to people and have new relationships and build people up in some way or the other, by putting a smile on your face or giving a new thought, anything at all. So that's all I wanted to talk to you guys about today regarding purpose. And I hope it spoke to you in some way or the other. And if it did, do leave me a text. Like I said, I am waiting for you guys. And I also want to talk a little bit about the COVID-19 situation. I really encourage you guys to use this time to do things that you have never done before. Maybe pick up a new skill like beatboxing, do you guys want to hear my beatboxing skills? That's great. No, I need so much work. So I'm trying to work on my beatboxing skills. Or if there's a friend maybe that you had a hiccup with and you haven't talked to them in a while, maybe you could talk to them. You never know how it might turn out, so give it a shot. I also want to take this time to appreciate all the doctors and volunteers and nurses who are in the hospitals working with the COVID-19 patients. So a big applause to them. So yeah. And what else? let's see what else I want to say. Yeah, and also, if you're back home with your parents, make sure you annoy them, because I don't get to do that since I'm by myself here in Bulgaria. So annoy them for me as well, you know, like make them regret they had you. But that's all, guys. Stay healthy, wash your hands, drink a lot of lemon juice, do Zumba, and be blessed, guys. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye, you guys.